Yes. What is going on? Let's put that on pause, man. I'm only running with one monitor here, man, so I can't hide all my backdrop and shit. I need to get two. I don't have a lot of room at my home office here in New Orleans. I'm gonna be honest. It's small. Let's see. So I kind of work a little handicapped. And back in Texas, I have 3 monitors, man. You run YouTube on one. You got Instagram going on. Well, now going on another, but mics, cameras, all that shit. Try to make it work. And then try to come and talk about something about the market that makes sense. It might help you, man. So that's what we're trying to do, man. Money Flow Trading Society. Hopefully all of you are trying to get a little bit richer every day, man. That's the goal. And one way to do that, there's a lot of ways to do it. One way to do it is this game here. That's part of it, right? It's not the whole piece of the puzzle, man. It's just one part of it. And sometimes, I think I said it on the thumbnail. Oh, now come the trash trucks and shit. I was saying on the thumbnail that sometimes in life, man, the best move is to just wait. Sometimes the best move is to watch. But inside of waiting and watching, we're always progressing. We're always moving forward, man. That's the beautiful thing about assets over debt is as you hold debt, just holding debt costs you money. Let's say you got 20K in debt and you got to pay some interest on it. And so your payment this month is, I don't know, making up a number, 240, and you pay 240. Okay. You didn't get any richer. And you're like, well, I held my ground. It's like, yeah, you're actually going backwards, man, because you're not utilizing time going forward. So the beautiful thing about this stuff here, tied in with the other stuff we talk about, is it progresses us, right? Us, our family, the people around us, it's going to bless you, man. The more, whatever you think about comes about, whatever you put your focus on, day after day after day after day. If you watch, I'm going to come here every day. And I had a guy, I mean, I haven't always come every day, obviously on YouTube and Instagram, but I've come to the markets every day. Hopefully you can hear me okay on YouTube. Yep, sounds like you can. I hate hearing myself, man, and it's kind of weird as I've tried to progress my technology and in the way that I present the money flow and try to make it make sense. This, by the way, is the chart UNG. I had a guy yesterday say, man, you spent a lot of time on that UNG. Can you move on? And it's like, no, man, can you listen, bro? Don't worry about me moving on. Just listen. Repetition is the mother of skill. Meaning the way you get to be a good golfer is you do a lot of putting. You're like, putting again? Yeah, keep putting. Everything is about the basics. It's just layered. Okay? So this chart is all charts, man. This chart is all charts. What we see here is a fractal pattern of what I call the money flow trading system is what I've referred to it. But it's just simply the money flow. This is the way money flows, man. Money flows in, money flows out. Same in your life. Sometimes you're flush, sometimes you're not. There's this bipolar connection to the universe, man. One day you're happy, one day you're sad. One day the person you love this person, next day they drive you crazy. And you want to choke them out, man, but you can't. And that's the bipolar nature of the universe. Some days you're confident, some days you're not. And some days stocks go up, some days they go down. I had a guy say to me yesterday, he hit me up on Twitter. Man, Twitter, man. What's up with Twitter, man? I try to be nice on Twitter, man. Sometimes the GP detractors, that's what I'm going to start calling you guys. They still watch me and listen. The GP detractors. I'm not going to give you the money flow logo or label. You know, that's how the church works too, right? People break off and they start a new, oh, we're Southern Baptists, man. We're not Baptists. They break off. We got the GP detractors. Still trade the money flow. You know why? Because it's real, man. It's bigger than me. So you can not like me and love the money flow. I was thinking about that the other day, and I was like, God damn, that kind of proves it, man. You can not like me and love the money flow. That means it's bigger than me, man. That's what I've been trying to say. It's bigger than me, man. Once they got it, they were like, man, I don't like that Gerald, but I sure like his book. That's all right, man. We ain't got to be friends. We ain't got to be friends to trade stocks together. We were looking for a move on the UNG to the 23.58 range. I said I wasn't going to ring the bell, take profits on it, even though it was a target because it's just too close for me, man. If I was trading triple leveraged, I probably would have, because the move would have been times 3. So on the UNG, on that pop where it hit the first target. So as we watch the money flow is just a fractal pattern of price. Every day a stock opens, it has a low, a high, an open, and a close. There's 4 parts to a candle, right? And that's it. And every day is a piece of recorded history. What I refer to in the book is an ongoing feedback loop, meaning every day it's just coming at you. And we record it in history with candlesticks or bars. And over time, it begins to move. And no one day is that important, but every day is important, because every day is another piece of the puzzle that creates the overall picture of the fractal pattern of the money flow, man. So this is the money flow. And price, what I discovered, here's what's crazy. I lost a lot of money trading. We used to go to seminars and shit at hotels. You guys are too lazy to make a Zoom meeting. We'd have to get up, get dressed, get in a fucking car, drive down to the hotel, sit through this guy babbling endlessly. Just at the very end, like I learned one thing and then he hits me up for something, you know? And each time I would do that, I would tend to get something different. But a lot of times, I didn't get anything from the speaker. What I got from was the dude sitting next to me. I'm like, what's your name? He says, my name's Gary. How long you been trading? About 4 years. Cool. How do you trade? And we'd start talking, and they'd be like, have you read this book? And I'd be like, no. And I would be at a seminar and get book lists from other people. And then you start communicating with them. Next thing you know, you got a little network. Well, along the way, I'm picking up a piece here and a piece there and a piece there. And I'm at a hotel for Investors Business Daily. And guy says, you ever heard of Stan Weinstein? While the speaker's speaking about the movement of price and the way that the Investors Business Daily tracks the market, they have their own system. They have their own little algorithm, right? I have mine. It's called the money flow in the 4 stages. Where's price in relation to the 20-day moving average? Right? And I start laying the onion, the layer of what is the money flow over this, right? So if we're looking at, man, I feel the spirit today, man. I'm going to be honest. You're going to want to come back on this, man. Don't shout me down when I'm preaching good. You're going to want to come back on this one, kids. Let's see. Man, I watched the thing with Dan Pena last night. That dude, I don't know how he's still on air. He's taking it too far. I like to pick on people, but wow. This is a blank chart, man. If you've ever taken my course, and I don't know why you would be my friend and you don't have it. I do have friends that don't own it. It blows my mind. But, you know, I got a friend across the street makes tie-dye and sells it, and guess what? I got more tie-dye than I've ever had in my life. Why? I don't want to wear tie-dye, man. You ever see me wearing tie-dye? My friend makes tie-dye. If my friend owned a restaurant, I'd probably eat there a bit. If my friend had a tire shop, guess where I get my tires done? It's called networking, man. And guess what? I expect in return, man. So if I own some shit he's going to go to, guess what? You better be there, bro. Like, that's called building a group, man. And if you do that well and people like you, guess what? You make money. And you're like, what do you mean? Because all the money you want is in the pockets, purses, wallets, checkbooks, and credit cards of other people. But the only way to get it is to serve them. Right? And so, bam, man, that guess what? And then you meet a guy named Jesus. And Jesus says what? It's better to give than to receive. So shit, if my friend makes tie-dyes, I might want to buy one, man. Or at least wear them or support it, right? And that's just one example. You got these examples all through your life, man. So make sure you're taking advantage of that. Not in a bad way, in a good way. To help them and you, man. So this is a regular chart with nothing on it, dude. Nothing on it. We got 75 people on Instagram. We got 69. And I'm going to be honest, man. GP, the $100 charge for an hour, man, it's on the phone, bro. Because if I look at you and I see your facial expressions as I'm talking to you, it's going to fuck up the content. Meaning if I can just hear your voice and we discuss what we're going to talk about, you don't interfere with what I'm thinking and I don't interfere with what you're thinking, because you're going to start reacting to my body movements. As you say shit and I start to frown, you're going to start to change what you say to me. But if you can't see my expressions, then I just get to hear your stuff. That makes sense? So I'd prefer to do it that way. I don't know if anybody's ever told you that. I don't like Zoom calls, man. Zoom calls make people bullshit. Next thing you know, you got to dress up, got to look cool. All of a sudden, there's all this stuff involved in the conversation that don't need to be involved, man. You need to come from the heart, man. Just say it. Don't you get what I'm saying? Now, that may not affect everyone, but it does me. Because sometimes I just close my eyes and listen. And they're like, what do you mean? Meaning the guy paid me. He wants my utmost opinion. And I start. How old are you? Remember, you ever talk to me? I go, how old are you? Why? It gives me context. I'm making up a story on a whiteboard, man. I don't want you to fuck it up. I want you to tell me. I was talking to a guy yesterday. I did this one in person, and every time he'd start to talk, I'd stop him. And I'd ask another question. Why? Because I'm drawing out the picture. And he said that to me. He said, man, it's hard to talk to you. You keep talking to me. And I said, no, I'm dictating the conversation, man. I'm trying to get you where you're trying to go, man. You're trying to tell me. I'm trying to help you. You don't know what you need, man. That's why you're going there, man. You don't go to a counselor and tell him what to say to you. Don't make any sense, right? So keep that in mind. So here's this here. Just look at this. So I'm at this meeting, and they're discussing price movement. Now, this is the UNG. We're in this trade. We got our pivot point back here over in October, and it hasn't done much. Money flow deals with a lot about patience, and this is why we have multiple positions. And so if you're on ADD and you're just going 100 miles an hour, you might not like trading with me, man, because this shit might take 3, 4, 5 months. And while this trade's working out, guess what? I'm working over at my business. I'm doing bubbles and bath with the kids, man. I'm out with my mom for Mother's Day. I'm doing other things, man. I'm not sitting at a computer the whole damn time staring at a monitor trying to catch 50-cent moves, man. I'm trying to catch $12 moves. And maybe that's going to take a little time, right? That might take 3, 4, 5 months. You know, that became, if you have this here, if you have this ebook, as I update it on my end, the one that you own updates. That's why I put my books out like I do. And you're like, what do you mean? Meaning if I update this, when you go to read yours, if you hit refresh, it updates automatically. Had a guy say, well, should I buy the update? What do you mean? It's updated. It updates in real time, man. So this here, I'm working on this. I'm calling it the perfect swing trade. So the book is about the perfect swing trade. If you're in the Money Flow Trading Society, you got this free when you came in. It's being built out, meaning you check back in a month, you're going to see more shit in here, more shit in here, more shit in here. And eventually, this is going to be everything. If a guy said to me, how do you do perfect swing trades? I'm like, here you go. And it's like, what is a swing or position trade? Chapter 1. So we got to define it, right? This assumes you already understand the money flow. So when someone reads this, I'm just assuming they read the money flow and they understand this, right? They understand the basics of money. They understand the difference between a brokerage account, margin, an IRA, a Roth. Like we're getting somewhere. So by the time we get to messing with this, man, we need to know a lot of information. But it's second nature. Like you don't have to think about it anymore, man. And so this is about trading here. What are the indicators? How to bank profit? When to close a swing trade? Position size? What to trade? Building portfolio? Buying bottoms? Buying the breakout. And I stopped here. A lot of people ask me, hey man, there's nothing in there. I know. It's a whole different book. I need to take that off. But I'm actually just going to do a summary or something to that effect in there. All right. Back to what we're saying. So I'm at this hotel, man. I'm talking to this guy. And he says to me, you know a guy named Stan Weinstein? I said, man, I don't know Stan Weinstein. He said, listen, Stan Weinstein put out a newsletter in the 80s and 90s called How to Profit. No, he had a book called How to Profit in Bull and Bear Markets. You can go get it on Amazon, man. Chris Johnson talks about this because I told him to buy it. And he says, what's this got to do with how I'm going to trade? Nothing. But read the damn book. Because the book is not about taking trades the way he trades. It's if you read the book, you go inside the mind of the man who was doing it. And what I learned in there, he was doing a very similar to the money flow, but he's doing it on a weekly chart. He's using a 20-week moving average. This green line you see here. So each one of these bars is 1 week. Bam, confirming that the money, everything is fractal. You can do it on a 5-minute, 1 hour, 15-minute, 2 hour, 4 hour. You could go to weekly, right? It's fractal. But inside of the fractal nature of it, the dynamics change. Profit targets and stops change based on the time frame, your expectation, how long shit's gonna take to happen. Well, what Stan would do is if first thing, he's not trading anything that's not above this green line on the weekly chart. That was his first parameter. He would go to the charts and look, and he would say, okay, cool. This closed out on Friday above the green line. From here on out, I'm taking long trades in whatever this is, whatever index it is, sector, it just depends on what he was looking at. And he will keep trying to do that until it went under it. And I'm like, And look, yeah, and you're like, well, that didn't work very perfect because it didn't have very long before it turned around. Yeah. And in that area right in here of what you see of the change of the trend direction, of the confusion, the chaos of price. Remember that book I was working on called Chaos to Cash, meaning the market's chaotic, man. And in between the chaos are long periods of trend. Look at that. You get long runs. So what Stan was trying to capture was those, man. And mitigate or make a little in the ones that were against it. And that was his ultimate goal. But as I'm sitting there and I'm listening, I had studied this. And one day I'm at a blackjack table, man. And as we were playing in the flow, and I noticed the cards changed. We were winning, and then we weren't. And then we lost a few, won a few, lost a few. And then it turned and we were just losing. And what most people were seeing is just cards. I saw this, meaning it came to me super clear. What Stan was teaching is that price moved in 3 stages. It went sideways, it went up, and then it went sideways. And he was the first one to open the idea to me that it actually didn't do that. It actually moved in 4. And that a 3 was a 1 and a 2 was a 4. They're just opposite, back to that bipolar, aspect of the universe. Some days you're pumped up and motivated, some days you're not, man. Some days you love them, some days you want to choke them, man. Some days high tide, low tide. Man, what is going on? So as we look at UNG, Chapter 9 of the Money Flow says, it's entitled Putting It All Together. I say a trading plan is a systematic method for screening and evaluating stocks, determining the amount of risk that is or should be taken, and formulating short and long-term investment objectives. A successful trading plan will also involve details like type of trading system to be used. Most plans require the use of various type of technical tools. Now, that's the opening of Chapter 9 of the Money Flow. I'm just establishing, what is a trading plan? That's just a generic explanation of what a trading plan is. And the book goes to fill in that, man. The Money Flow trading system doesn't require you to be a day trader, but it does require you to scan charts daily. Missing even one day can be the difference in hundreds or even thousands of dollars. If you aren't willing to track your trades consistently, you should not be trading. I can't put that any nicer. Follow your charts each day and wait patiently for the trader patterns to show themselves. Be patient and let the moving averages cross before you act. Don't second guess the trade. Don't go reading articles on seeking alpha to either confirm or disconfirm your idea. Put on the trade and let the market do what it will. Once you have initiated, misspelled a word. Once you have initiated trade, how about that? I made up a word too. That's not even a real word. I put imitated. A trade. Put in your stop loss order and wait. The money in trading is made waiting. Some people might disagree with that, but that to me, it's always been where the money's made. Oh, we got 84 people on Instagram. Gerald, any advice for investing in real estate? Are you serious, bro? My man just interrupted a class on YouTube to talk about investing in real estate out of state, bro. Tonight, I'm going to do Campfire Real Estate, my man. Wealth chaser, since you're chasing wealth. And I'll talk about real estate, man. Right now, we're talking about some stocks, man. We're long the UNG. You can still get in this trade. Hold on. putting this comment on Instagram. Well, what I figured out, price moves in 4 stages. Now I just got to figure out what my trading plan is, what my style is, and how to implement it through the process of price, man. And my man Simon Lerner on here. Where are we at? I've always tried to figure out, man, how to get. I think anyone can trade on a daily time frame. I don't care what you got going on. You can do trades. You can definitely do position trades. Now, what we've been looking at here is nat gas, and what we're starting to see is prices attempting to push. And we saw, look, there's the 5-day moving average, 10-day moving average. So if we come over, we can see the numerical alignment of them. 5 days at 2012. The 10 days at what? 1999. And the 20 days at 1965. So we've got the 5-day, the 10-day, and the 20-day numerically aligned, moving to the upside, but it's just now happening. Okay? So we're going from a 1 into a stage 2. And so we got our anchor point, we got our box for our stage 1. Now price is headed up, right? This is going to be the second run at it. And first target, we already hit it. Probably slow down again, and I'm looking for my second target. Now this is from a trading plan, meaning I don't know, man. I'm not reading articles on, production of this and that. I'm not doing that. This is where price has been before. And so I believe one of the things that charts give us is an insight into, I don't need to know. It's been here before. Now we could go figure out why and this and that, and that's fine. Go do that. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying you don't need to know that. I just know it's been here before, so I know it can go there again, so I have evidence, right? And so all I got to do now is see, is price going to line itself up to do that? And we know last time it made a run, what happened? It came down, put in an anchor point, and then what? It put in its box, and then price broke out above that green line, and it's, and then what? Then it ran up. Where did it stop? Pretty much where we thought it would stop, where it stopped before. And look, that's what it did. And so what you're seeing there is a money flow pattern of a stage 4 decline, right? We got our anchor point. Now, the box isn't perfect. The box was kind of created up in here. So we had a long dip, but we call that an anchor point. Like in a boat, you want to stop a boat, you drop an anchor. Guess what? The boat don't stop immediately, man. It fucking starts going in a circle. And it takes a minute. Well, that's the same here. We're dropping the anchor. But the anchor is the bottom, and it can only be the anchor if it's confirmed. And it can be confirmed takes 4 days. Or there is an exception, and we get into that. But just as a generic, it just generally 4 days, meaning 4 of these bars. So let's clean this up, man. So you say, well, how do you know you have an anchor? Meaning it's the lowest low right then. So on that day right there, that was the lowest low on the most recent move. They went below the green line, which means we went into a stage 4 decline, right? Right here. And what am I waiting for? An anchor point for a possible setup for a trade to the upside. Or if I'm short, that's going to be my target, man. I want to be taking money off the table at the anchor point, right? If you're short, if you're in reverse, think on that, man. So that's what we're trying to catch. So what the charts allow us to do is, now I'm going to tell you past performance is not indicative of future results. That's crazy. All we got is past performance, man. Shit, I can only judge you by what you did in the past. That's all I got to go off of, man. So this is when we know, when last time price ran up, it broke above the 20. So when it breaks above the 20 this time, I assume it's going to do it again. And if it doesn't, then it didn't, and that's the way price moves. Let's see. If you are diversified, you should always have some winning trades. Some area of the market is always trending. And what do we mean by trending? Well, definition, that word is important there, trending. If you turn to the very beginning of the book, I don't know, what page is it? 2? 3, right at the top. A trend once established, a trend is more likely to continue than it is to reverse. This statement is the foundation upon which the money flow trading strategy is built upon. Meaning once price breaks above that or below that, and the other parts of the stage set up, I just assume it's going to keep doing what it's doing until it stops. And what I look for for it to stop is these indicators. And these indicators begin to tell me, but ultimately it's price. It's price. Ultimately it's price. So if we're drawing this in real time, we know we got an anchor point, right? And what? We know we got an anchor point. Really, it was this one. Really, it's that one. It opened and then just turned straight down. That's actually a reversal pattern too. If you were to dig a little deeper and get into like candlestick patterns, I don't talk a lot about that. I talk about the easy ones. Like this is a doji reversal. Same on a bar. It looks like a cross. I used to joke and call it the Jesus cross. The Jesus crosses are super important. So much so that sometimes when you get it, as long as everything else was set up, I might jump the trade. I mean, I see it enough that if I can clearly see, what I believe to be the stages, that's not 100%. The next day pretty much confirms it. But once price got above the 5-day moving average in the money flow, I talk about that being the trigger. And we know all these moving averages got to come together, right? And so that takes time. And so with 4 days, which is almost a week of trading, we can confirm that this was probably a bottom. Or there's probably now some people are like, well, that's way too long. I know, but remember, these trades that I'm looking at in these stages will last months. And so even when this started topping out, that took that's 2 weeks right there, man. It's 2 weeks, man. And this move down is what? 3 months, man. And then this stage here, how big? This has been, what, a month? When was this? This was October, 21st or something? Now what are we at now? The 16th? So we're coming up on a month of a stage, man. So when we buy this, knowing that this is how markets move, if you notice the way that I buy now, it's a constant state of dripping because I'm not charged. Back in the day, in the book, I talk about buying 2 spots. Why? Because you were charged, man. Originally, I got charged like $29, $30. So if I wanted to buy, it was $30 plus the shares. So a trade would cost $60 to execute a trade, man. And when I was doing it, I'm reading books, people were paying $100. And you had to pick up a phone and call a dude. And they would charge you $100. So this, a lot of people were kept out. Now, you're not charged anything. It's completely free. So you could be like, let me get a share, 2 shares, 3 shares. You just share it. And as you're doing that, you're also mitigating some of the risk because if price starts coming down, you're not in a full position anyway. And so what it does now that there's no commissions, if we can spot an anchor point, catch a stage 1, we can start to drip it as it begins to build out. And then now it's breaking. Maybe I don't need to add on the breakout because I bought a lot down here. Now we just let it run, right? And so that's kind of changed the nature of the markets, man. That ability that you're not charged a commission. It used to be a real factor. So in 2019, I paid $7,900 in trading commissions. How much did you pay? Paid $7,900 in trading commissions. For that 1 year, 2019, repetition, mother of skill. Let's see. Man, I hope everyone's doing well. Father Son Team says, now that I've finished both books and review, I'll be joining soon. We look forward to trading with you, sir. What's up, Matt? Matt's too busy to be in Discord. Matt's too busy and fancy. Let's see. He's literally giving you gold, but you got to do the work. That's true. Okay, now something I did want to address. So this trade's breaking out. Still a buy. I'm just teasing Matt. Still a buy. We'll see. We get it in a run. I had a guy say to me on Twitter yesterday. I got a lot of hate on Twitter yesterday. What's up with that, man? What's up, Twitter? What's up? I love you guys. He said, they said, you never talk about your losing trades, Gerald. I figured that's, because when I read it, that's what I heard. I'm like, I bet this dude sounds just like this. You never talk about your losing trades, Gerald. I said, what do you want to talk about? I mean, Should we go to therapy? Do you want to sit on the couch? We can invite your mom. We hold your hand, bring in your girlfriend. Everyone can look at you and say, don't feel bad, little Johnny. Those trades will come back. I mean, what is it you want to do? How much time do you want to spend on a losing trade, man? Like, what are we going to do? What do you want to do? Should I create reels of all the losing trades and just run them in loop? What would you like to do, sir, with your losing trades? And I know what it is because I get a lot of times people get hung up on their trades, like the losing trades. And I've had people recently, they were like, man, I feel real bad about I was an idiot for investing in crypto. And I'm like, no, you weren't an idiot for investing in crypto, man. Taking a chance doesn't make you an idiot, and you shouldn't feel bad. That's society putting that on you. Man, you better check that quickly. You were taking a shot. What'd you think? All your shots are gonna work, man. Better get up and get going. So what do you think happened? I'm trading in a .com crash. Guess what? Shit goes down. Should we still be talking? You remember back in 2002, man, when babies.com crashed, man? That blew me. I mean, how long are we gonna hang around there? So then we got a whole nother decade, right? So what do I do, man? I just move on, man. Start trading stocks, buying shit, putting money in, buying things. And then guess what? We get 7, 8, 9 years. Easy money. Stock runs. We get 2007, 2008. What? Stocks collapse again. People are, man, I was dumb, man. My uncle told me not to put any of my money in the stock market. I shouldn't have put my money in the stock market. And then they somehow attach their own self-worth to it, man. Like, I feel like I let people down. And I'm like, what? Because you got caught in a business cycle? Better wake up, man. You better go read some biographies. Steve Jobs got fired from Apple, man. Like, he got fired, guys. Shit, you want to be president? They might send the FBI after you. You better step up, man. But I don't want any issues or troubles, Gerald. I would like all my investing to go smooth and easy. And he's like, that's not how it works, man. It's not how it works at all, man. Look, man, you know how many companies out there with stocks who've been smashed and the CEO had $20 million and now it's worth $1 million? What should he do? Should he make a reel showing you that and spend a lot of time wallowing in it, talking about, or does he get up the next day and go, damn, is this stock cheap or is it cheap? See, a lot of people make their decision on a stock based on where you bought it. Let me give you a life lesson. Nobody gives a fuck where you bought that stock. You better just say that shit out loud. It means something to you. It don't mean nothing to anybody else. It don't have anything to do with the evaluation or sales or what it's going to sell for in the future. Nobody cares what you paid for that house. The only person on planet Earth that means anything to is you. And it has nothing to do with the current value of it. And you're like, what do you mean? Meaning the guy I'm buying the foreclosure from, he could do what I'm fixing to do. But he can't do what I'm fixing to do because he thinks what he paid for it is the problem. And he's like, well, it's over. I got to get written. Or here's an idea, sir. You could get your shit together and fix it and rent it like I'm about to do. You could go back and have it refinanced. Like the game is not over. It's just in how do you perceive it based on what you paid. And so it's like, so what, man? There was a guy that paid a fucking nickel for Bitcoin. And it went from a nickel to $1,000. And he's rich. And then it goes from 1,000. Then a bunch of kids ran in and bought it at $1,000. And then it fell from $1,000 to $20. And they all felt sad. And they all had their self-worth come. I should have never done that Bitcoin. This was back in 2004. And everyone, it was like, you shouldn't have done that, you idiot. Oh, okay. Now, the guy that ran it from a nickel to 1,000 and got rich and took his money out, he's not feeling stupid. What's the difference, man? Man, you better get over your losing trades quickly, man. So you're not going to get me to sit around and soak in them very long. Next. That's how we do it, man. That's how you do it, man. And you move on. And you're going to, well, I don't know, man. You could be like, well, I'm never going to ride his stock down like that. Oh, okay. Whatever. I don't know what to say on that, man. So I guess you're not riding Ford up and down. I mean, look at Ford. So like 5 years ago, I wrote a book called The Money Flow, right? And I would say when price is on this side of the green line, right, we can see a box. And when that box forms, we can call a stage. And if we do it right, we find the pivot point, and we're drawing this out in real time. When it breaks above that green line right here. So I wrote this book like 5 years ago. Now go look at the chart of Ford. When it breaks above that green line, it starts to run. But here's what I don't know. I don't know how far it's going to go. I have no idea, man. I have no idea. And that's the uncertainty that we have inside of the markets, man. I see all these people with the FTX thing. Fuck out of here. Well, they're going to literally try to sue Tom Brady. Is this where we're at as a society? People are this stupid that a movie star is what made you do so. Are you really? That was what did it? This is where we're at. That human beings are so low functioning that a movie star is where you get investment advice. And that based on that is why people opened accounts with that. Really? I'm just sitting thinking on that. I've never bought a fucking stock because of Tom Brady. Really? Now what you might could argue, well, they had enough money to hire stars. Yeah. I mean, they must have some money. They hired Tom Brady. I mean, that's how that perception for sure on the company, but that it's his fault? My God. That's the government, man. You see this pattern here? And I bring this to your attention to say, if you lost some money in crypto, boo fucking who? Get up the next day and start putting money in and get to work, man. You cry about that long. And if you attach any of your personal self-worth to some investments, you're going to be a loser your entire life. Because guess what? You're going to lose on a lot of trades. I've had stocks go to zero, bunches of them. I've also had like 7 of them taken private, way higher than we got in. And I've had them go up 1,000%, 5,000%, and I've had them go down fucking almost to zero. And so if you're going to sit around worrying about the ones that didn't go your way to the point where it decapitates you and you can't move forward investing, you are already messed up, man. You are already going to lose all your damn money. So we got to execute fast, man. You got to execute fast. And meaning stay the course. I was talking to a girl the other day, and she had abandoned her stock portfolio. I'm like, why? Because it went down. Her reaction wasn't to put new money in and buy the stocks going up. It was to be in paralyzation watching the ones she had go down. And I said, you don't have to add to those right now. You could just let those go down and take other trades and buy other things. You realize that, right? But because what she paid for and things she had done, it messed up her execution. And so she couldn't execute on new things and new things going because of the old things. And now you've lost time times amount times yield. And you cut yourself off from a possibility of a 800%, a 900%, because you're doing what is working. But you can't do what's working because you're stuck in what didn't work. And I see this all the time, man. Look at Ford. And once it broke, look, way down. Do you see anything here? What did you think I would have told you Ford is going to do right here? I mean, right here. Wrote it down 7 years ago, man. Steven said, I'm a movie star in his eyes. Keep that in mind, man. Think on that. You got to get this in your head, man. You got to get this in your head. The price you paid, do not let the price of what you paid for something cause you the way you see the investment. People do this every day. They'll be like, I hear them do it all the time. They buy a new house. They turn their old house into a rental house. On the surface, that sounds like a good idea. We'll look at Tesla. It's not a good idea, man. It may be a good idea, but that's not the kind of house I would typically buy as an investment property. I'm not buying a house I would live in. That's not what I'm doing. So usually it doesn't even qualify as but it might. Usually it's too big, too expensive. And then you go look and it's like it's a $400,000 house. and we're renting it and you're making $300 cash flow, but you got 200 in equity. I don't want to make 300 a month on 200,000. They're not seeing it that way. Why? They're seeing what they paid for it. They're like, I didn't pay $450, Gerald. I bought it for $120. Now it's worth $450. So if I was to move out and rent it, now I got a little cash flow. And it's like, no, man, you got hundreds of thousands in equity making peanuts. They're not seeing it like that because they're seeing it based on what they paid. They don't see it as what it is today. This is Tesla right now, man. We started, this is still my trade of the week. We put this out a bit back. I haven't changed it yet. There's our anchor point. Remember our previous anchor point. Our stage. We got a breakout, and then it collapsed. Broke the stage one right here. If you remember, if you're inside the Money Flow gang, I put in Discord, I'm not selling this. I felt like there was something going on because the market's going up, this is going down, and then it came out that Elon Musk had to sell like 21 billion of Tesla stock. That was a lot of this selling here to raise money to buy Twitter. That was a lot of this selling pressure, and I believe that he would probably let up. And you see it started to drift. If he's done selling, it can start to drift with the market. Why? Because the Qs are in an uptrend, man. So if we go look at the market, the wind, right? Q, 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 it was in an uptrend, or trying to. It was attempting to break out. So fully anticipated Tesla to follow suit. It has not. It had some undue pressure on it, right? So we'll see. Qs are trying to come back. Market wants to go higher, by the way. You say, how do you know that? It's above the green line, man. I ain't got to think about it. Price above green line goes higher. Price below green line goes lower. Look at that. We didn't even have to know much. I need to rewrite some of this on the page 31 of the Money Flow. The Money Flow trading system uses a simple 20-day moving average. As a rule, if price is above the 20 SMA, we look to trade from the long side and price is considered bullish. Yeah, but what about the Federal Reserve and the bullish? But Gerald, what about the bullish? See, summarized it. Makes it easy for me. Now I can spend my energy thinking about something else, something more positive. I already know where it's going. Up. Right? I don't have to put any effort, thought in that. So the moment the Dow got right here, I know where it's going. Up. You're like, yeah, but all these guys on CNBC, and we're going into the Great Recession, man. We're going to go into a full-blown recession. It's going to be horrific. Everyone's going to lose their job. It's going to be total wipeout zombie land. That's the way it sounded on CNBC. This is going to be the worst recession you've ever seen, man. That's what I was reading. Robert Kiyosaki said it's over. And yet, in the midst of that, the Dow made an historic run. Blue chip stocks going up 14%, 14.2% in the month of October into November. The greatest move in history. A lot of people didn't see it because they were so negative. They were so negative. They were so negative they didn't see it. They didn't see it. You're like, but Michael Burry's short. Michael Burry from the guy from the Krauts, he's short right now. Okay. Here's an idea. If that guy's such a good trader, this is what gets me. If that guy knows, they act like that guy, well, he's a savant, Gerald. He walks around in an office barefooted, playing Metallica, staring at stocks and looking at it like he's a genius. Okay. He's a genius. So, but he plays Metallica and takes his shirt off and walks around barefoot in the room playing it, blasting. Well, I do shit like that. I'm not a genius. I've been doing that long before he was doing it on TV. God damn, how do you think I look at charts? I blast Metallica and walk around barefooted, man. That ain't new. But they act, well, that's the activity of a genius. Well, shit, I've been a genius for a long time then. I didn't know that was. And they'll be, if he's so brilliant, how did he miss the biggest move in industrial stocks since the 1970s? Nobody's talking about that, though. A lot of my friends that are in doom and gloom, I bet tonight when I get on Campfire Real Estate, I bet they have no fucking idea that industrial stocks made one of the biggest moves, 14.2% since like 1970. A lot of my trading friends don't know that. It's an historic move up, man, in the midst of everyone being negative. Think on that for a second. This is what my real estate friends don't get, man. I own a lot of property, and my friends that own real estate that don't own stocks, they think they understand the economy. They don't understand the economy. They know one little piece. They know one little piece. And my trading friends, think they understand the economy. You know, one little piece, man. You can't see shit on a 5-minute chart. It tells you jack bean about the economy, right? That ain't telling you anything about the economy, man. That's just price movement. That's mental masturbation. That's prices going up and down. That's just momentum, man. Now, if you go back and look, what were we doing in the money flow? People are like, what about PayPal? We're not buying PayPal, man. We're buying blue chip stocks. How long had I been saying that? Why? Because they're going to run, man. They're coming. This is coming. And you're like, yeah, but I'm in this stock and I'm down. Don't care. Don't buy that shit. Buy this. And people will say, well, I own PayPal. I'm thereby forced by marriage to add to PayPal. I can't buy Campbell's soup, Gerald. I own PayPal. And I'm like, yeah, don't buy PayPal. Buy Campbell's soup. But because what someone paid for something in the past, it totally jacks up their investing into the future because they feel like they have to do that, man. You watch. Watch how crypto plays with your mind going forward, man. It's already hit people where it's affecting their confidence. They thought their confidence was in the fact if they were right, man. Your confidence isn't in the fact that you're right. Your confidence is in the fact that you'll get up and do it again. Are you telling me Tom Brady's only a good quarterback if he wins? You don't think he loses? You know? I mean, he makes bad decisions, right? So our it's not in whether you get a trade right. It's in the fact that you get up the next day to trade because you're going to get bad trades, man. You're going to make bad investments. It's called being an investor. So if you can't have losing trades and bad investments and somehow that affects your confidence or how you're going to approach these markets, you're going to be grinded, man. You're going to be grinded. You're going to be grinded, man. And honestly, I think it's going to take, and I tell you this all the time, I think it takes 2 to 3 years for you to even settle in to approach these markets with any kind of confidence and feel like you're okay, you know, to where you don't chase money. I don't chase any. You ever see me doing that? I don't do that. Never. Never, man. I'm trying to play chess, not checkers, man. I'm not chasing shit. If it breaks out, I'm in it. And that's the one you'll see. Remember Gilead? I'm not chasing this, right? We were building it up on stage ones, waiting for this. What were we waiting for? Because the stock was worth $84. This is what we were trading against. Now, some people say, well, this is not trading. Bullshit. Maybe not for your pea brain. Maybe you can't comprehend it past 2 days, 3 days, 5 days, 20 days. Man, you can have a 2-year trade and make a fortune and make more than anybody that was trading. You made it in one thing, man. What are you talking about? That's how fortunes are made, man. That's how they're made. Big money's made and things like that, man. And so what were we doing in this? Stage ones. All the way back to $50. Just buying ones. I'm not going in and out, 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 in and out. I'm building this because it's an $85 stock. And so I can watch the flow of the market. And whenever this stock hits stage one, I'm nibbling. Well, it's a 2-3 year play. And now we won. And if you, depending on the size of your thing, this could be tens of thousands, could be 50,000, could be 100,000. I don't know. Could be $100. Could be $100. That's up to you, man. So as your wealth grows, these things get bigger and bigger and bigger, man. They get bigger and bigger and bigger. And that's one way to trade, man. That's trading. And you're trading because you're getting out of it. It's now fair value. So let's go see what is I may not be able to get logged in. Who's got Morningstar on Gilead? And let me know what the value is. I bet it's $84. Tesla's getting wrecked. Tesla's a stage 1, man. Stop being a little bitch. You should be buying it right now. Somebody's got Morningstar, right? And let me know what they have it for Gilead. Nobody has it, huh? Well, you guys are probably, everyone here is probably too damn broke to even afford it. Let's see. Gilead. Oh, he said $77. I thought it was $84. Yeah, so what? Yeah, $77. So Gilead is trading within the range we consider fairly value. So what's up now? We want to take our money off, drop to a core position. I was kidding, man. Let's see. Oh, BX is fine. BX has probably got some FTX exposure. So I'm sure BX has got some exposure to this. Over 1,000 companies are getting hit. BX owns the world, so you can expect they're coming down. That's what happens. So don't put any sort of self-confidence in your abilities on these trades. Put your self-confidence in ability to get back up, execute again tomorrow, man. Let's see. Let me scan through a couple and I'll get off here. But again, this is UNG. So if I'm a money flower, what I'm expecting is for it to run up into, where it's been before and stop and then go into a 3 and then come back down, right? So that's what we're expecting. Start trying to practice sometimes doing this. Look at without the indicators. Try to spot the boxes without the indicators. Let's see. I just joined. You said BX owns the world. What is BX? Better get educated, son. Man, you better put your shirt back on and go read about BX. Got your shirt off talking about what's BX. Put your shirt on and go read some damn stock stuff, man. All those muscles ain't going to do you no good when you're broke. Let's see. You'll be like, I can't even afford protein powder because I don't know what BX is. Let's see. What is it with you guys in your shirtless pictures? LL yesterday plummeted because of... what is it with these dudes in their shirtless pictures, man? Okay, let me see. I'm going to start doing all my shit shirtless. Just be like doing my stock, standing at the whiteboard, no shirt on. Fucking nipple clamps. Do a live. You think they'd take me off Instagram? You think they would? I bet they would, man. Come on there shirtless, nipple clamps from each thing, like that shit ain't even happening, and just teach a stock class. I bet they probably, Now, if you were a 16-year-old girl, they'd let you do it. See, you ladies got an advantage, man. Man, if I was a hot chick and teaching the money flow, like you ever go on YouTube and they got those videos of these hot girls playing guitar or they're on drums and, she's like wearing a miniskirt and just killing the drums. And the other day I was watching one. This girl's like, I guess she's 18, 19. She's young, beautiful, dressed, real sexy to miss, just killing the drums, playing it live. I mean, and I'm watching it. Wife comes in and goes, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "This chick is killing the drums." She's like, "You're not looking at her play drums." And I go, "I get what you're saying, but she's still killing the drums, man." Like, I was shocked. Like, she was killing it. And then that led me down this path of there's this chick who plays piano. And she takes all these old metal songs like Metallica and she plays them on a piano, but she's like super hot and dressed, provocatively at this piano and just playing the shit out of these things. And her views are like 3 million views, 4 million. And I'm like, dude, if that was me sitting at the piano playing the same skill level, we don't have 4 million views. Right? Am I right or wrong? That's why my buddies are always like, let's bring on these ladies on the real estate. Everybody's been trying to get me into that idea. I'm not against that idea. I just feel like it's not a fair playing field. Because any woman we bring on, everyone's like, "Oh, they're so awesome." Right? Now, I get it. There's marketing to that. Makes sense. But it's like, I don't feel, nobody does that for me. I don't see any ladies bringing me on their shit. Nobody's called me and said, "Hey, Gerald, come on our show and just look cute and let's," like, nobody does that for me. So makes me wonder, man, why aren't these ladies inviting me on their channel? Why do I got to invite them on my channel and play to that? Now, you guys like it, though. You're always like, "Oh, that lady's awesome." Uh-huh. Okay. I don't know. Let's see. Campfire guys, they're going to be like, "Stop saying that, Gerald. Stop saying that stuff. Careful when you talk about women. Careful. Careful." I'm just saying, any girls out there want to do money flow charts and stuff, could be big money in it for you. Yeah, Blackstone's underneath the 20. We just said the price is underneath 20 is I haven't I'm teasing. Let's see, man. I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. I think you could still buy Verizon here for sure. I like Hanes brands here. I haven't bought anything in 2-3 days. Had a guy the other day, "Hey man, I think your text service is broke." And I'm like, "It's not broke, man. I just haven't bought anything." I think this is a great spot to pick up some Hanes brands. I might nibble on this today. I don't know that I need to text this, do I? Do I need to text this? That I'd be nibbling on Hanes brands. I think you can still buy UNG here. Verizon's still good. I don't think I need to tell anybody. Once you're in the group, you know these things. You know that's a stage 1 buy. People catch on to that fast. They're like, "Oh shit, I know what to do here." Let's see. Just saying, if you see me doing shirtless money flow, don't judge me, man. Don't be hating either. I don't want to hear a bunch of fat jokes. I don't want to hear a bunch of fat jokes, man. Jessica said she's all in. That's funny, man. That's funny. All right, I'm done, Joe. Okay, get your shit together, Joe. Hanes Brands here is good, man. God, if you don't own this at all, man, what a beautiful opportunity here. A lot of things in my portfolio have just run too far. Like there's, you know what I mean? There's not much for me to do. One that I don't talk often about that I own shares in that, I mean, I'm looking at here, Cube. Cube is a storage facility. This could be a play on a possible recession if it happens. It seems to make sense that, maybe people put stuff in storage. I don't know. It's got a decent dividend yield, 5.5%. It's undervalued. It's trading below the 200. If you were looking for something new, I haven't talked in a while about this stock. This is one, but a lot of the others that I follow, we were talking about Well Tower. This was on my board, remember? It popped. So it's past my buy point. Cisco, 3M, AT&T, Exxon, Chevron, all these stocks are past. I can't buy them here. So there's a very small number. And then I was saying this week I wanted to turn my attention to growth stocks. Now, why would I turn my attention to growth stocks? Because everyone else is talking about Dow and dividend stocks now. Notice that. It's above the 200 and they've all run up. Now everybody wants to own dividend stocks. I don't want to own dividend stocks here, right? We wanted to buy dividend stocks when it's lower, right? So if the dividend stocks now are back above the 200 and are fairly valued moving up, then my new money, I turn my attention to the shit that's doing bad, man. So I want to look at things like Amazon, right? Tesla, right? So I want to turn my attention to the ones that haven't done well. Amazon's turned down. So, but we're dripping. Remember, we're dripping. And we'll just let these dividend stocks run. And next time they're set up, we come back to them. There's a few out there still. Verizon, we talked about Haynes Brands. That one's a good one. Is MO going lower? Yeah, I was saying MO is a fast money trade. I thought it would run this week, but it hasn't. Would I buy MO here as an investment? No. It's not cheap. Everything's pointing down, even though price is holding. It is below the 200. Momentum hasn't changed yet. This would be a patiently wait for me. I'd rather buy some here or buy some breaking out than here, because this is the uncertain spot. If this holds, we'll see. If it breaks, you're coming down into here. I'd much rather be buying a dividend stock lower. I'm just greedy, man. I'm just greedy. If I'm trading, I don't want to have it coming down in here. Obviously, I want to try to catch it on the run up if I'm trading. So if I was trading this, maybe you take a position and put a stop here, but as a trader, I don't want to ride it down, right? So we would approach it, the money flow, based on what your goal is. If you're trying to, I put out a short money trade on this with this being the target. And so we got stage 1, 2, 3, 4, and that this was the 1. Now again, that's a short money trade because look, that's not very far. And I was saying, if you remember, I was in Discord. We have this section in there now called fast money trades. And that's just, anybody put them in there, of course. I'm just showing you what I was looking at. And I'm like, okay, if this holds, then that's an easy win, right? Runs up. And I can put a stop right in here. So I'm risking like 60 cents for a shot to make $2 or $3. And that's what I was looking at on it. That's, one of the stocks. I thought the Dow would keep going. It would pull these dividend stocks up. So, but if we go to the 1 hour, it's holding support. And so if we drop it down on the 1 hour, we're seeing the same thing, right? 1, 2, didn't last long, 3, 4, and then 1. And so what am I waiting for? Well, all the moving averages are coming together. You see them? So when I was talking about a fast money trade, it means I dropped my time frame down and I'm watching the money flow on a shorter time frame. And I'm like, could it run up into here? Yeah, and that would be the money flow pattern, right? Sideways up, sideways down, sideways up, sideways down. And it can just sit and do these, man. It can run these little patterns, right? We see it over here. They're not always perfect, but sometimes they're right on the money. And even when it's not perfect, it's still, you can almost hand draw the pattern, right? And there's one where it started to break and then what? Turn back down. So as I'm watching this, I know that's a possibility. Like over here, it turned down. It didn't break out. So I know this is a possibility, and so that's where stop losses come in. So as I'm looking at this as a short-term trader, I know right around in here is the zone of fuckery, right? That's where I'm no longer on the right side of this trade. And if you look at that, that's not that far away, dude. It's $42.20, $43.46. So if I'm doing some shorter, this would, for me, would be what I would call a traditional swing type trade. So I've got a stop loss. It's not that far away. I've got a target, not that far away. And I've got the money flow pattern. And that would be a trade. I would set it up. And what I would do in the day is I would have 10, 12, 13 of those trades going. And, put however many your brain can handle. And that's what I would do. Now, that's just a way to short-term trade. That's not a position trade. That's not even a trade on the daily chart. And you're like, well, I don't have time to watch that, Gerald. I know. So that's why you would go up to the daily and you could swing trade the same way on a daily. It's just you're going to have to be a lot more patient, right? You're going to have to be a lot more patient. And you're going to have to work out some bugs on it, how you want to do it. And that was just a trade. And you got to be cool with in, out, in, out. That's trading, right? So when these crossed right here, that's now a stage 4 decline. I don't want to be in it. But now as I'm watching the setup, we got an anchor point. We got 1 bar, 2 bar, 3 bar, 4 bar. You're like, yeah, but you just sold it. I know. Now we're looking to get back in it. That's called trading. So if that's what I'm doing, then I got to be able to take those lumps, man. What a lot of people will do is they bounce from stock to stock to stock to stock to stock. And you could catch the loser, and then you never get a chance to catch a run up in the stock that you were watching. And you go back and you look, and that one took off while you were over here fucking around over here. And so I think that's why it's a good idea to kind of narrow in your window of the stocks you're trading. So instead of running a filter, I'm looking through the stocks that I already follow or own every day, and I'm looking for these setups, man, and I'm being patient. And then, if I miss, so when I try to catch the one here, there's my breakout, right? And I run it up. Man, it barely tagged it too, didn't it? And what do we see? We see the pattern, right? This is like a 1 hour chart. You're seeing the pattern, man. And it's not always perfect, but look, there's a lot of meat on that as a trader, right? And depending on how you're trading, if the market's in an uptrend, I'm not shorting anything. I'm just getting out and I'm waiting for the setup again, So, man, that was all. Man, I went too deep today, man. He says, okay, Kevin asked, am I cutting Joe? I have not cut Joe yet. I know. It triggered the stop. And I waited yesterday. I'm going to tell you why. Let me tell you how this happens. I don't use hard stops. So we talked about the stop being right there. And you could honor it. You could be out. My position is so tiny. I'm been loose with it. But it opened down. I don't do hard stops, so I didn't get stopped out. It immediately came back. So I waited. And then the next day it opened down, but it held the previous candle. So I'm like, well, fuck, let's wait and see. And now we've opened down. So we were underwater. All I've had is a starter position. So it's just not much money. And yeah, it's underwater at this point. Did I post it? Back to my guy. He never talks about his losing trades. All right, bro. We're talking about started a new swing in JL. So I didn't talk about it being a starter there. I think it was said starter when I texted out. Yes, it has broke the stop point. I was going to give it today. I was kind of looking to see what we do. I'm going to text on it. My size is so small, I'm kind of just wanting to hold it, man. I'm going to be honest. It's on a 26 RS, 27 RSI. It could keep going, though. So if you got a large position, it's broke the stop. Cut it back. My position is not that large. Time to go long SPXU. Let's see, guys. My man's ready to short the market. Now, I look at the regular to short the market. So I would never run the money flow on an inverse ETF. I would do it on the SPY. And I would ask you, where is it? So page 31 of the money flow. The money flow trading system uses a simple 20-day moving average. As a rule, if price is above the 20 SMA, we look to trade from the long side. If price is below the 20 SMA, we look to trade from the short side, go to cash, where price is considered bearish. So, all my friends with their finger on the trigger to be short, a lot of them hit it right there. Remember what I said? I said in Discord too. It's still above the green line. Page 31 of the money flow. It's above the green line. Life's pretty simple for me. It's still above the green line. I'm not short. Now, you may ultimately come and then go down. That's cool. And, I've had guys who'll do that. Well, I told you. And it's like, okay, bro, you don't trade the money flow. I do. Fuck off. I'm not trying to be right. I'm trying to trade the money flow, man. That's a big difference. Because I know if I stick with that, I'm going to be right over time and I'm going to win. So I'm not trying to guess or interpret, man. I'm trading what is. And right now, price is above the 20. It's actually above the 10 as well. And everything else is still positive. So it'd be way too soon for me to think if I was getting short. But let's say our time frame is shorter, so we drop to the hourly. Let's take the SPY down to the 1 hour. And on the 1 hour, if you're a very short-term trader, you got your signal right there. We can draw it out. Stage 1, 2, 3, 4. But look, it stopped here before. So, I don't know. Not me, man. Still trading to the long side right now. Because if price is above the 20, it's still elongated for me inside of the money flow. Ordinarily, I'd pick on a person right there, Cal. Right there is where I'd pick on you. Because I like to do that. And it's funny for other people too. Because then they can laugh. And then we all laugh. And then I get the people who DM or text me later. Do you find it emasculating to make yourself look good at the expense of other people's feelings, Gerald? When you pick on those poor people, you may permanently scar their ego and they may never approach trading again. You're doing a disservice to mankind by talking to people like that. Don't you ever feel bad? Isn't it kind of hypocritical to make fun of people while at the same time recording videos trying to motivate them? Do you have a bipolar disorder, Gerald? Because it's not cool to make fun of people. You're hypocritical. I get that one a lot. You're a hypocrite, Gerald. The other one I get is, you're now old and out of shape and you're a drunkard. And I replied to that one, hey, I might be a drunkard, but that other shit hurt. I get that a lot. You guys think I'm kidding, man. I do get it. People will send me these long messages explaining how what I'm doing is like that that it's me, that I'm arrogant, blah blah blah, I'm arrogant, blah, blah, blah. I don't, and it goes on and on and on and on. And it's like, okay, guys, it was just a fucking joke. Okay? It's funny. It's funny. It's funny to other people. No one knows who Cal is here. Nobody actually knows. Cal, nobody knows who you are. So if I did make fun of you, it would only bother you, no one else, because they don't know who you are. So they would just laugh. But that, every once in a while, people white knight it, jump in. And then they use that, man. Or I pick on the wrong person, they lose their shit. Next thing you know, they're sending my family pictures and things, saying horrible shit about, like, this true stories, man. And I'm like, I'm just trying to teach stock charts, right? Okay, sorry. What moving averages, other indicators do you use? Get the book. Bloomstring CEO, you cheap. Almost called him a name. I'm not going to do that anymore. I promise. I'm just okay. So, yep, nothing for me, man. Everything's patient. I would just relax and chill. Now I'm the other day I was told, Gerald, I don't appreciate that you spend 20 to 30 minutes on your lives just ranting and raving about bullshit that only you care about. You know, YouTube's free, right? Sometimes I use it just for me. Sometimes this is just a platform for me. I just do selfish things. Come on here and take my shirt off. It's just for me. I need 1 million. Yeah. All right, man. That's all I got. Be patient right now. There's not a lot of deals for sale. There's some Hanes brands, couple trade setups. I'm still in coffee. I'm gonna text out about closing it. I'm probably gonna keep mine open. I'll just let everyone know it broke the stop, but I'm probably gonna keep it open. My position's not that large. I'll text that out just to be clear about it. Yeah, I always like the rants, man. I think they're good. Not everybody appreciates them. I hope that helps. Anybody's got any good stock ideas, hit me up, man. What's up? Wear the tie-dye. Wear the tie-dye. Yeah, I would buy Hanes here. I'm probably going to nibble today a little bit. Matter of fact, I need to buy a little something, but I haven't been buying large. But it's a great look. It's coming back to the 20. Beautiful. So if you don't own any, I would definitely pick some up. But we got time. This isn't going to rocket away anytime soon. Where do I get the book? Just hit my bio link, sir. Hit my bio link. Just take it off. Take it off. All right, man. You guys be good. Discard that video. I should save some of those on Instagram, but you know what, man? Save enough shit on Instagram, right? YouTube. They can come over to YouTube. Take their lazy fingers over here and click. That's it. You guys be good, man.